Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the JLR Podcast Network. It is time for the second episode of my Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars walkthrough and review, both a video on YouTube and an actual audio podcast available on Spotify, iTunes, and many other podcast services, apps, whatever. How you all guys doing? I hope you enjoyed my first episode, although I was quite all over the place, rambling, babbling, mispronouncing names, and mispronouncing different words, and just all over the place. But in the end, I thought I actually had quite the fun doing this. I love playing this game, and now that I actually have a reason to talk about it, why not? And broadcast it, why not? And just let you all in on my fun with this game. We maybe I should just do a bit of a review here from the last episode. Although I do not want to ramble on and on here, but so basically, if you haven't listened to the first episode, well, okay, I suggest you should do that, because I'm not going to explain. I'm not going to be like those Allo episodes where Renee at the beginning of each episode had to explain what happened in the previous plot so everyone could catch up. But and by the way, nobody knows what I'm talking about except like a few British people and some Europeans. Allo was a sitcom about occupied France during the Second World War. So once again, I have started rambling about something completely different. But then again, it's related. It's France, right? All right, let's stick to the thing that I was going to do here. Okay. Anyways, we play this. It's a point-and-click game that I love, made by Revolution Software. You can see for the YouTube audience, you can see this logo here. That's the Revolution Software logo. A bunch of knights there in the sunset, or is it sunrise? I have no idea. And where was I going with this? Yeah, so you play George Stobbart, and he is an American tourist traveling Paris. All of a sudden, he was at a cafe, and BAM! It blew up, and there was this clown that went in with an accordion, not a harmonica, accordion, and took a briefcase from some old guy in there, and blew the place up. George survives, talked to the police, but now he's like, I want to catch this guy. And he met a nice reporter, a freelance photojournalist, Nicole Collard. A local girl, a local French girl. She's so cute. Is this okay to say these days? Never mind. So he's like, oh, he's got her number. Like, all right, I'll find evidence about the clown because he almost got me killed. Isn't that reason enough? So, and we ended up in the sewer where we found the red nose, a piece of clothing, and a greasy tissue. And now we're gonna go up the staircase to another manhole, which is still, by the way, gross to say. I don't know why it's called that, but nevertheless, that's where we were headed. I ended episode 1 on where the demo ended for me back in the day, my first experience with the game. So this is the point where the demo. We're starting from the point where the demo ended, and let's see if the actual game is also as good. Of course it is. But anyways, let's restore JLR Podcast Network. I'm clicking here the button to restore our previous save, and now let's listen to the nice sewer drain sounds or whatever. Yeah, the water in the sewer. I think. So I turned down the volume of the what was I going to say, of the music, but I think sound effects they might be a little bit too loud too. Like at the end of the audio podcast, I had to listen to it to make sure it's okay, and I thought it was alright, but maybe the sound effects in the sewers, they're a little bit too loud. So let's go down. Let's say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the sound effects are a little bit lower now. And so the most important thing is the speech. We want to hear what people are saying, what George is thinking, and all of that. And let's put done here. Did it work? Did it work? Gotta check, recheck, check again. Yeah, I think it worked. So now let's go up the staircase. In the demo, George would say something about like I wish I knew what he. I wish I remembered what he said. He was something about like this would continue on this journey about the broken sword. I was like, wow, what a cliffhanger, right? But in the actual game, he just goes up and doesn't say anything. So let's just go up the staircase here and see what's up on the other side. Wow.
Hi there.
Hold it right there, you sewer rat.
Oh.
I knew you'd come back. And now I've got you.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking
You're
about?
trespassing. Come out of there, immediately.
That's what I'm trying to do. Give me your hand.
Is that a butler or a...
Ha! You won't catch me with tricks like that.
He sure is dressed like a servant.
Keep your distance, monsieur.
Okay, okay.
Now, what were you looking for?
So we have this guy, I think, is he supposed to be a butler or something? He's certainly dressed up for something. And he is very menacing, standing over George. And he's accusing him, like, he thinks he has seen him before. He said something, eventually he thought you would come back again. So he's very hostile. Something has happened. But so what are you looking for? There's the telephone option, there's the clown option, and then there is a option with two bad guys, bad-looking figures. I know for a fact that actually is terrorists. I think that option. But are we just going to say... honestly, we did find the red nose, but we haven't found anything else from the clown. So he might have just dropped the clown nose. We don't know. So, but we're looking for the clown, right? Obviously, he did a terrorist act, I suppose. And we don't need to look for a phone because there's a phone outside where the construction guy was. So that we can use that phone probably. So we don't need a phone. We need to find out where this clown is because we have his nose and we want to return it with vengeance. No, let's just press the clown image here. As you can see, this is a very nice looking. I wonder. It must be like a rich person's house. This really large courtyard, and there's a fountain. It's not on, and then there's an old-fashioned yellow car here. I wonder if it's a Beetle. No, probably not a Beetle. Maybe it's one of those European cars. Fiat. No, it's Italian. Peugeot. I have no idea. Why am I talking about cars? I have no idea about cars. But yeah, so this butler, he's kind of menacing. He's just standing almost like really threatening. We should tell him we're looking for the clown.
I was looking for a clown.
Huh, ridiculous. Do you really expect me to believe that?
He planted a bomb in the cafe and blew it up.
What? The cafe? Blown up? Mon Dieu. That is awful.
How is he not able to
And
hear?
you say the person responsible was dressed as a clown?
That's right. He blew up the cafe, escaped into the sewer, changed his clothes, and came up here.
Okay.
Ah, mon Dieu. Then, the man I chased.
Music
Do you
cue.
think that man and the clown are one and the same?
Well, yes, it had crossed my mind.
Ah, that still does not explain what you are doing down the sewer. For all I know, you are in league with him.
Oh no, I'm just a tourist.
Haha, most tourists are content with the Eiffel Tower,
Tourist.
the Louvre, or the Pigalle. I didn't realize my waste pipes were such an attraction.
It's quite the tourist attraction. So, okay, he doesn't believe. He's not buying George's story, but he kind of thought about the idea of the guy who he apparently had a fight with as later right before George showed up. That guy is the same as the clown. Basically the clown was in the sewers, changed his clothes, and then went up as a different person. And he's the one and the same. But that doesn't explain why you're in the sewers. For all I know, you're in league with him. I don't have to repeat everything that he said, obviously. But so we have many options. We can ask about the clown again. We can ask about the Plantard. We can ask about the briefcase. We can ask about the waitress. I don't know why would we want to ask about the waitress. Maybe he knows her. Who knows? And then there are obviously the items that we found in the sewers, and the T-shaped tool to open the manhole cover, and Rosso's ID. Let's see. Shall we just press on with the clown thing?
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
What is there to tell? He was a typical criminal type. Just like you.
Just like you. He's just calling us a criminal. So he won't even answer that question. What about the briefcase? Did he see the briefcase?
Was the guy you saw carrying a briefcase?
I didn't notice. Now are you going to leave? Or do I have to call the police?
He is not helpful at all. Shall we ask about Plantard?
Does the name Plantar mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. Who is he?
The man who was killed in the cafe. I'm gonna find the guy responsible. I'll find him. Even if it means following him down every sewer in every city in Europe.
You need some sensible boots. You won't get far in those stupid sneakers.
Is he wearing sneakers? They sure just look like normal brown shoes. They don't really look like sneakers, but never mind. The waitress, does he know?
Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
Oh, she isn't hurt, is she?
No, she's fine.
Oh, thank heavens. A poor girl like her isn't safe with the likes of you roaming the streets.
Can't you understand? I'm not a gangster. I'm an American tourist.
That's what you say.
He will just not indulge with us. He seems a little bit worried about the girl, though, at the cafe, so he probably knows her. So what are we going to do? He's not telling us anything. Well, should we look at our items that we have? Well, let's see. Will you answer at least about the things that we found in the sewers, like that piece of clothing?
Do you recognize this material?
I am not telling you anything.
No, he still won't tell us anything. What about the grease paints?
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing, monsieur. It's disgusting. What on earth possessed you to show it to me? Someone has emptied their nostrils into it.
It's actually grease. You know, the makeup from the clown, right? And then what about the red nose?
Take a look at this false nose.
I've never seen it before in my life.
So we're not getting anywhere with this guy. What about asking about, like, for example, does he know Rosso? You try that.
Perhaps you'd like to take a look at my card?
Or wait, will he pretend to be a policeman again?
What is this? Inspector Augustin Rosso? What does that say? Hominoid Division?
A homicide. I think the ink's smudged.
Hominoid.
Then you are not a tourist.
Okay, I'm not. I lied to you. And I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, monsieur. You know, I had a feeling there was something different about you. It is your posture, your poise.
You thought he was a criminal.
Yes. There is no mistaking the bearing of a disciplined man. And I should know. I was in the army, you know. When I was your age, I was fighting for my life in the African desert. How can I help you, Inspector?
Let's start over from the beginning and tell it just like it was.
And all of a sudden, we have a more willing... what do I say? It's a more willing person to answer our questions. So yeah, he thinks we are a cop, just like that when we showed it to the construction worker outside of that building before. The same trick worked. So I'm guessing Rosso's face is not on that card. Anyways, where should we start? We're getting all the options back. So what about the briefcase?
Was the guy you saw carrying a briefcase?
Why, yes, it was. Clutched in his arms like a baby.
That belonged to his victim.
Oh, what do you think was in it? Drugs? Stolen jewels?
I don't know. But the killer thought it was worth a man's life.
Nothing is worth that, monsieur.
Jesus, try to tell that to the common criminal. All right, what about the clown? The man you apprehended.
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
He was a mean one, monsieur. He grabbed me in an armlock. his face suddenly next to mine. His grip was like iron, but he did not know what he was up against. Oh no, he made a big mistake when he took on one of the desert hyenas.
Yes, I get the picture.
You're just calling himself a hyena? All right, so we get that. What about plant art? Does he know anything about plant art?
Does the name Plantar mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
So he doesn't know him. All right. So he was being honest there. We can ask more about the waitress now.
Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
So you don't want to hear about my experiences in the desert? I fought to make this country what it is today.
I'm sure you did, but I'm a little short of time.
He really wants to just talk about his... He's trying to obviously dodge the question. Like, he was like, I don't want to hear about my stories in the African desert. Let's see.
Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
You can't suspect her, surely.
Just answer the question, please.
Yes, I know her. Quite well, you could say. She came to work at the cafe 7 months ago. I look forward all week to the relief she gives me when she visits.
Really? So you'd miss her if she wasn't there?
Oh, mais oui. Who else would I find to cut my toenails?
Is that a different meaning for something else? You never know. But cut my toenails? Only that? I doubt it. So, that's all the questions that we can ask him. Except we still have we can still ask about the items that we found down in the sewers. He didn't really answer anything then. So let's see. What about the red nose, for example?
Take a look at this false nose.
Aha! That looks like a clown's nose to me.
Precisely. He must have dropped it in his panic.
Unless he wanted you to find it.
Why would he want to do that?
To put you off the scent.
You think he's that kind of a master criminal? Who knows? What about the piece of cloth that we found? This fabric here.
Does this piece of material mean anything to you?
That is the same cloth as the jacket I found. I'd recognize that pattern anywhere.
Hang on. A jacket? Same pattern? Let's ask about the jacket. That's a new option now.
Now, about the jacket you found. Do you have it here?
No, monsieur. One of the sleeves was badly torn, so I sent it for repair. A pity, because otherwise it was a fine piece of quality tailoring. It had the tailor's name inside on the label.
Yeah, tailor's name. So maybe the tailor might know who he was dealing with. This killer clown guy.
Where did you send the jacket?
I gave it to an itinerant Romani seamstress.
Just my luck.
I sent it away. So, Roman, what about the number or anything?
Was there anything in the jacket pockets?
Oh, wait, jacket pockets.
Not a sou. You know what I think?
Do tell me.
He changed out of the clown suit and cunningly disguised himself as an ordinary person.
Looks like I'm up against a mastermind.
We still can ask about the jacket.
What was the name on the label?
It was a foreign name. Todrick, I think.
Did you get the address?
There wasn't one, monsieur. Only a telephone number.
Well, I don't expect you to remember a phone number you've only seen once.
74 98 08 59.
Wow.
You're kidding. That's his phone number?
Yes, that's it. A little trick with numbers that I learned in the desert.
Wow.
I was taught the technique by a Tuareg shaman.
That's incredible.
It comes in handy at the supermarket checkout.
Better do.
Do I get a reward?
Honesty, monsieur, is its own reward.
Then I'm glad I do not rely on honesty to pay the bills.
Nice answer. Nice banter between them. I think that's it. We have a number of the killer's tailor, so...
I have to be going. Thanks to your help, the citizens of Paris can sleep a little easier tonight.
Vraiment? I was only doing my duty, monsieur. Good luck, Inspector. I hope you catch that killer soon. I'll let you out. I hope you find your man, Inspector.
So do I.
So he opens the door for George, and George leaves. Jeez. The soundtrack is still so loud. Alright. Hang on. I can't believe that. Okay, once again. Music lower. Maybe that is not just the music, but also special effects. Let's lower it too. It's too loud. Anyways, sorry about that, Barrington. Who by the way, I was calling Bennington as well. Just butchering these guys' names. Alright, so he let us out of that rather nice courtyard, and now we're back at the street where the hole is, where the construction guy was digging in his hole there. And well, one would think that we have quite the information now. We found the clown's nose. We found a material that was from a jacket that the guy basically, that butler guy basically took off the killer as they were scuffling, and he saw the number of the tailor within the jacket, and then memorized that number because he learned a trick from some shaman. And gave us the number. So all of a sudden we now have actually two numbers as well. Nico's number and Todrick's number. So we could call either one of them. For some reason we still have Saladin here, 1345 written, but yeah. So we could call either Nicole Collard or Todrick, the tailor guy. So, but I would suggest that we should call Nicole because we have quite of information to share with her.
Bonjour, Collard.
Oh, hi. It's George Stobbart, the American at the cafe.
Ah, oui.
You said to call if I could help.
Have you any news for me?
You bet. I met a witness who spoke to the clown. And I know where the killer gets his suits.
No kidding. Hey, I'm impressed.
You are? Well, it wasn't easy.
Look, why don't you come here to my apartment?
Fine. Where do you live?
361 Rue Jarry.
Okay, I'll come right over.
That was quick. Now, if you just ring her without all that information, she will get irritated and hang up on you. So we made quite the first impression by calling her with all the information ready, so straight to the apartment then. Which means all of a sudden we have an option to leave the screen from the right. And what happens then? Let's leave this area. What happens then is that we get a map of Paris with all the famous sightseeings. We're pretty close. This cafe is pretty close to where the Eiffel Tower is. But yeah, so we have two different other so we were at the Café de la Chandelverte. I'm butchering the name, obviously. And then there's Rue Jarry, which is where Nicole Collard lives. And then Poste de Police, that's probably the police station. But we say we're gonna meet Nicole. We should just go there straight. Why talk to the police that probably will not believe us, because for some reason the other witness that we gave. The waitress, we gave her some sherry. No, it was brandy, not sherry. And she remembered the clown when we talked to her, but then Inspector Move talked to her, and she forgot about the clown. She got drunk. So this looks like a nice apartment building here. There's some traffic here nearby, and then there's a flower stand here, and there's a woman there crocheting something. Older looking woman. But, well, let's see. Here's the door.
The door was shabby and in need of a coat of paint. I couldn't imagine the Collard woman living here.
Couldn't imagine the Collard woman. It's so funny because they'll get along perfectly and we'll be on first name basis, but this is early in the game. He just met her, so he talked about the Collard woman. So let's go inside, right?
I pushed against the door, but it seemed to be locked.
The door's locked. How are we gonna get in there? There's only this one lady outside. Maybe we should ask her how is it possible? Well, let's observe.
The woman was doing something with a pair of needles that couldn't be described as knitting. She was a cheery old soul, the kind you'd walk across the street to avoid.
Knitting, crocheting, knitting, crochet. What's the fucking difference? Oh, shouldn't hurt. Sorry. Let's ask her. I'm trying to go inside.
Oh, hi.
Bonjour, monsieur. Would you like me to foretell your future?
No thanks.
I'm very good, and it only takes a minute.
Thanks all the same, but I'm not superstitious. Besides, if it only takes a minute, that's not much of a future to look forward to.
All right. We have the options to ask about flowers and also about Nicole Collard. And then there's this hand with some weird rings around it. It's probably the gesture for reading someone's future. Psychic abilities. So let's just ask about Nico.
Do you know a young woman called Nicole Collard?
Yes, I do. She lives upstairs from me, in the apartment block across the street.
I tried the door, but it's locked.
You know, I've told the landlord about that a million times. It is the damp. The whole building is like a sponge.
Yeah.
It sucks up the moisture from God knows where.
You mean the door is stuck because it's swollen?
That is correct. There is an art to opening it. Don't shove it hard. Just give it a gentle nudge above the lock.
Thanks for the advice.
All right, so we got an advice to how to open the door. Well, we can still ask about Nico, so let's find out more about her.
How long has Mademoiselle Collard lived here?
A few months. She's in for a shock when the cold weather comes. Drafty windows, insufficient heating. It's a struggle to keep warm. The only reason I stay is because the rent is cheap. Your young lady, she deserves better.
We can still ask about Nico. Why not? We're on a roll here.
I thought Mademoiselle Collard was a successful photographer.
Not as successful as she makes out for all her fine clothes. Oh, I've heard her crying herself to sleep at night.
That's awful.
Now, don't you let on that I've told you. She's proud, that one. Too proud, if you ask me.
For those who have played the director's cut and just played on these games, we know why she's crying. It is a very sad story. And she will probably tell her to us, we'll let Nico tell her that story later on. Anyways, shall we get a fortune? Sure, tell me your fortune.
I've changed my mind. Will you tell my fortune?
You're going on a long journey.
My, oh my. What a surprise. Can you tell me anything I don't already know?
10 francs, please, my dear.
Yikes.
10 francs? That's a ripoff.
Please yourself.
Shall we? We can still ask about it. Let's see.
How does this fortune-telling routine work?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be selling flowers for a living.
Haven't you ever wondered why you were blessed with the gift?
Well, it's a bit like satellite television, I suppose. Some of us are born with a built-in receiver dish. I just happen to be one of the lucky ones.
Really? We can still ask about this. Interesting.
Can you really foretell the future?
Only time will tell, monsieur. The strange thing is, I can't seem to see myself in the future. Other people, I have no problem. But when I try to see what might happen to me, nothing.
That must be scary.
Maybe. I figure it's a kind of natural safety mechanism. Either that, or I don't have a future.
This took a dark turn. And there's some music cue. We can ask about the flowers here, why not?
Are the flowers for sale?
Oui, monsieur.
Okay. I'll take a bunch of those white ones.
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
No?
They are lilies, monsieur. Some people associate them with death.
Yikes. Thanks for telling me.
Very gloomy conversation. No future associated with death.
What other flowers do you have?
Dahlias?
What do they signify?
Insecurity.
I don't want to give her the wrong idea about me.
Insecurity, okay. What else?
What about the tall yellow ones?
Those are iris, the flame of passion.
Ooh.
And the little yellow ones?
Sensuality.
Meow.
Well, they're no use to me. I want to make an impression, not jump down her throat.
Yeah, you don't want to be like the guy who's going to come up later in this game. Oh, possible spoiler alert. Yeah, George is the modest one, while there's another guy who's a little bit less. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to ask about the items, so we'll just say...
See you later.
That's right, monsieur. You will.
Oh, she's so clever. She knew he's going on a long journey. It's pretty obvious because, well, we'll find out. You'll see later on. Anyways, let's go inside this door.
Remembering the flower seller's advice, I pushed the door gently just above the lock.
See? She knew how to do it. And here we are. Inside the apartment.
Bonjour. I'm glad you could make it, monsieur.
Please, call me George.
Fine. I'm Nicole. Take a seat, George.
He just burst in. He didn't even knock. That's kind of weird. But anyways, it's a very nice apartment.
Eh bien? And what have you been up to?
I've been exploring the sewers beneath the cafe.
I thought I could smell something bad.
The clown used the sewer to escape and to change out of his costume. I guess he was in a hurry. He left his jacket behind.
And?
I got his tailor's phone number.
You had better luck than I did.
Luck, she said. Luck! Hard work, I'd call it.
That's George
What
thinking.
happened?
I took my photographs to the editor, but he wasn't interested. Can you believe it? He told me to drop his story.
But you're not about to do that.
Oh no. I am going to find out what's behind these killings. You know what I think? It's a conspiracy.
It's a
The police
conspiracy.
in 3 different countries have kept very quiet about the murders. The press don't connect them at all. They blame them on political, religious, or militant minority extremists.
Well, that covers just about everyone.
I wish I could do a good what's this, Jesse Ventura. I wish I could do his voice. It's a mass conspiracy. The local police has been covering up. It is obvious that clown is the same person. Terrible Jesse Ventura. All right. So we have many options. We can ask about using the phone. We can ask about plant arts and ask about her, and then obviously we can show her the things that we've found. So I mean, let's be professional. We came here to talk about plant art and all these killings. What do you know about all of this?
How did Plantar get your name?
For the newspaper La Liberté, I'd written an article linking 2 unsolved murders, one in Italy and the other in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The cases were remarkably similar. A wealthy victim, no apparent motive, and a costume killer. Plantard said he could supply me with more information. Somehow, the clown must have known about our appointment.
I see. So the clown... Plantard said he had information about a couple of murders that seemed very similar in style. Costume killers. So let's ask about the clown.
Tell me more about the clown's previous victims.
The first was Arno Bellota, the millionaire pharmaceutical baron.
Okay.
He made his money from amphetamines in the post-war slimming and diet boom. Imagine it! Millions of housewives literally speeding their butts off.
Was he killed for his money?
No. He had no living relatives, and his fortune went to the orphanage where he grew up. The only witness in the case was his Filipino au pair. She swears he was lured to his death by a snowman.
A snowman. So a Filipino au pair is the only witness, and she says a snowman killed this multi-billionaire. Was it millionaire or billionaire? Who cares? These days we have trillionaires.
What about the clown's second victim?
Yamada, the controversial Japanese green politician.
Yamada-san.
He inherited his fortune from his father's electrochemical consortium. He was committed to dismantling Japan's automobile industry.
I can't see him gaining much support with a loony policy like that.
Yamada was a man of vision. He was years ahead of his time.
If you say so. How did he die?
At the hands, or should I say, flippers, of a giant emperor penguin.
Was it the penguin? Up yours, Yamada. Batman. Whoever. Yeah. Let's ask more about the clown.
A snowman, a penguin, and now a clown. You know, I hate to admit it, but this is scary. And I'll tell you what, I won't be accepting any invitations to costume parties.
Oh.
I don't blame you for being scared. I am too. But this story could be my only chance of a big break.
Or a premature death.
Right. So that's what we have gotten from Nico about these deaths. So they're all connected in these are highly, what would you say, the billionaires and well-known men in their societies. Probably they have a lot of power, they have a lot of influence. Plantard, maybe not as much, but there's some connection there between them. Well, Plantard seemed to know about the killings, but before he could reveal what it was, he was killed and his briefcase stolen. Anyways, we can ask a little bit about Nicole, since we're there.
You speak very good English for a French girl.
Thanks. You speak very good English from America.
Did you hear that? You speak very good English. An American. You speak. I speak mediocre. I speak mediocre English for an Icelander. That's my take on it. Right. Never mind. We can ask her to. We can use the phone, but what about letting her see the items that we found in the sewers? For example, the clown's red nose.
I found this false nose in the sewer.
Okay.
Hey, what's this inside it?
The contents of someone's nose?
Yeah.
Don't be cross, George. It says La Risée du Monde. Masks and costumes. It's a costume shop near the Gare Saint-Lazare.
I'll check it out. Maybe the owner remembers who hired the clown costume.
Why don't you put it on, George?
No way am I wearing this. I'd look really stupid. Besides, he might have had a cold.
All right. So there is a store that sells the red nose. We might go to the store and find out more. What about showing her the cloth?
I found a piece of material near the cafe. When I showed it to the concierge, he recognized it right away.
It's very distinctive, all right. Just wait until you see this. I developed the film I shot at the cafe. Here, George, it's an enlargement I made.
An enlargement?
Look what that guy's wearing.
Checkered pants. The same material as I found in the sewer.
That's right. This guy shouldn't be difficult to find.
Oh no?
Take a close look at his left cheek.
A scar. In the shape of a horseshoe.
Oh, a crescent moon.
Crescent moon. So now we all of a sudden have a picture of the guy. We have a picture of the guy and he has a scar that looks like a crescent moon on his... The good thing about the director's cut, in scenes like this, then they actually have show you a large picture where you can see the guy's face and all that. But in the original game, we can only imagine what the picture looks like. Although we get the icon now off the picture, and so we kind of see it a little bit. Okay, that's the guy, and we can see a really small scar here on his face. We can ask about the picture again.
How come you enlarged this photograph of me?
Because I noticed the guy behind you, of course.
Jesus, only thinking about himself. Obviously, it's about that guy. All of a sudden, we can ask about Nico again. But let's finish with the items. There's this
I found
socky
this tissue down the sewer.
Oh, that's disgusting, George.
I think the stuff on it is grease paint, like actors use. Or clowns.
It's still disgusting. Get rid of it.
True. That's what. It's obviously why it was there. If the clown was taking off his white paint. So we asked about the others. We can ask about Nico again.
Tell me more about yourself.
Oh, there is not much to tell.
Well, how did you get into photography?
I guess I owe that to my father. He bought my first camera. I was 8 and my parents had just split up.
We can ask more.
Did you live with your father?
Yes, my mother went off with her new boyfriend. I don't mind. Papa was all I needed. 4 years later, he died in a plane crash.
Ah, I'm sorry.
Well, it's all right. I don't mind talking about him. He was more like an older brother, really, always joking and laughing. Papa always wanted I should study art. That's why I went to college.
I see. So now we have a reason why she would be crying by herself at nights. You know, losing. Her mother leaves off with a new boyfriend, and she doesn't care about him. She only wanted to be with her father, but then he's killed in a plane crash. So she's left all alone.
Did you learn about photography at college?
Oh, God, no. I couldn't afford the materials. We were billed for everything we used. Paint, canvas, paper. Most of my year turned to minimalism. It was cheaper. I used to go poaching in the park for squirrel hair. The only time I wasn't hungry was the term I did printing. I used to eat the potatoes.
You're making fun of me, aren't you?
Oh, no.
Is she being real or what?
Do you have a boyfriend?
That's none of your business.
Well, settle down. Then again, George, you know, you're a little bit too early on asking that. The problem is we have no idea what he's going to say. We just see the icon of Nico and like, okay, it's going to be a question about her. And then he just goes off like, hey, do you have a boyfriend? I'm desperate. I need to know. Shall we use the phone? Sure, why not? We have another, we can make another phone call. Todrick. That's the tailor. Let's see what happens if we call him now.
May I use your telephone?
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks.
Here we get the option again. We cannot obviously not call Nicole because we're at her place using her phone. Obviously. So be something Todrick. Here's the phone number. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello? Who is this?
Hi. My name's George Stobbart. You don't know me.
Correct, Mr. Stobbart. I don't. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm trying to trace one of your customers. Could I maybe come over and talk to you?
No, that's not possible.
Oh, okay. Forget it. Listen, all I want is a name.
What are you talking about? Who are you working for?
I guess you might say I'm acting in the interests of truth and justice.
Ah, thank God. I thought you were the police.
There are innocent lives at stake, Mr. Todrick. Lives that you could save.
You're collecting for charity, yes?
No, I'm not. All I want from you is information.
Go on. I'm listening.
So I forgot to mention, like when he's on a phone, when he's doing phone calls, we get a really nice close up of George, and there's like the split line in between. Well, it's kind of sideways, but then the other person on the line we have a big focus on their face as well. And I remember my friend when we were playing the first time, and it was the first time I was calling Nico, and he just like screamed at me, "Wow!" And I was like, "What? Look at the graphics!" Remember, it's 1996. This was really impressive back then on the PlayStation 1. I mean, like, what else was I playing back then? Destruction Derby? I guess it was pretty cool, though. What else? Oddworld? Oddworld was really good. Hey, I might do something like that someday. Let's play Oddworld. Anyways, we're focused here. Broken Sword. So we have the options. We can ask about the man in the picture. We can ask about plant art. We can ask about the clown. So why not? We have. He probably will not know who plant art is. He will probably not know who the clown is. I'm guessing the guy didn't show up as a clown when he ordered the suit. So we can. The guy in the picture. Do you know him?
Did you make a suit for a man with a scar on his face? A scar in the shape of a crescent moon?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Tell me where I can find him and I'll leave you alone.
And if I don't,
I won't leave you alone.
I can't tell you anything unless you give me his name.
What? He seems to know who it is, but he was not going to tell us anything unless we tell him his name. Let's try again. The picture. The guy in the picture.
Do you know where I can find the guy with the scar?
I told you. Without a name, I can't help you.
He won't help us. And now that option is no longer there. We still have the option for Plantard and the clown, but will that make any sense? We can ask maybe about the clown a little bit.
What do you know about the clown who bombed the Café de la Chandelle Verte?
I don't have no idea what you're talking about.
You're cool, Todrick. But I think you know more than you're saying.
I don't know who you be, but sure I am you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know if you're saying that to make me think you don't know what I mean, but, oh, this is ridiculous. Quit playing games with me, Todrick.
I tell you, I know nothing about no clown.
See, I kind of believe him. So I'm not even going to bother asking more questions about the clown Plantard.
Thanks for nothing, Todrick.
Jeez. He got really pissed off there at the end. So he's not going to help unless we have a name. So we're going to need to find out who this guy is. What's his name? Anyways, we have one lead. The nose. It's from a special store that sells clown nose and probably costumes and whatever. So let's see if we can go there.
I'm going back out to search for that clown.
Where?
Well, I guess I could visit the costume shop.
Good idea.
Costume shop it is then. Let's head out. I forgot to put a timer on this again. I'm just gonna guess when I'm around the hour. Although it would be nice to kind of keep this. The music is still draining my voice, I think. How is this possible? Volume. It's probably sound effect too. Sound effect down, music down. Jesus. All right, done. Done. Now it must be lower now, I'm guessing. There's some window here. There's probably a store here in the same apartment plot next to the door.
The shop window featured a display of gowns and women's stuff.
And nothing to do with the story. But anyways, I completely lost what I was talking about. The music just started playing, and now I have no idea what I was saying. Something about was the costume store? No, costume shop? No. What the hell was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I'll find out when I see this later. Anyways, let's go to that place that Nico noticed. She noticed the name of the... What is it? La Rise du Monde. That's the name of the costume shop where he must have bought at least the red nose. The killer, right? The killer. So this is a really colorful and nice looking costume shop. There's so many different things here around. There's this we cannot really click any of these costumes, but oh wait, there's a clown costume here. Let's see what he says.
The dummy wore a traditional Pierrot costume. At least I guess it was a dummy.
Guess it's dummy. Let's go up to it.
I gave the dummy Pierrot a tentative prod, but it didn't move.
He's prodding it. There's a... What is this over here?
It was an antique phonograph, the kind you have to wind by hand.
Can we wind the phonograph? What's going to happen then? Jesus! That's like the worst quality. And again, the gloomy music. What's going on here? Anyway, let's talk to this guy here. Wish I hadn't put that on. Who's this guy behind the counter?
The guy's spoon-shaped face was mournful and humorless. He looked like a vegetarian in a slaughterhouse.
Jesus! That kind of a look. All right. Let's talk to him.
Excuse me.
Bonjour, monsieur. Please, come in. Welcome. Leave the mundane world behind, but in these four walls, fantasy is king.
I don't want a costume.
Didn't you ever dress up when you were a child?
Not that I remember.
Incredible! You'll be telling me next that you never shared your elder sister's lingerie.
I don't have a sister, and I think I'd look pretty silly in a brassiere. I just need some information.
Of course. How can I help you?
So we know that George doesn't have a sister. Does he have a brother? I doubt it. But we honestly, we know very little about his family. We know a little bit about what happened in Broke Sword 2. Well, I mean, that's something that I might do in the future then. But anyways, so we can ask about a lot of things. We can ask about Plantard, although I don't know what... once again, like, he probably doesn't know who Plantard is. We can ask about the clown. We can ask about the nose, obviously. We can ask about the guy in the picture, probably show him the picture. And we can even ask about the other things, like the socket tissue with the grease paint. Probably there's a connection there. So at least let's start with the nose. That's where we...
Do you want this red nose back?
Not after it's been worn, thank you.
That's the only thing he said about it. What about the guy in the picture?
Do you recognize this man?
Oui, monsieur. I sold him some grease paint.
Sold him some grease paint. Shall we point out that as well? We have the tissue.
Does this dirty tissue mean anything to you?
Let me smell that.
Mm-hmm.
Bestheimer's number 7 white pancake.
Theatrical grease paint, right?
Oui, monsieur. La crème de la crème of Thespian accoutrement.
Have you sold any of it recently?
Yes, 2 cans.
Have you sold any recently? Yes, 2 cans. Well, he's giving a lot of information. Anyways, let's ask about the clown then.
I'm looking for a man who hired a clown costume from you.
The man whose photograph you showed me. He hired 2 costumes.
2?
Yes, Bozo the clown and Seamus the pixie.
What was his name?
Khan. A Middle Eastern man, I would think.
And did he have the scar on his face?
That's right, in the shape of a crescent moon.
That's him.
How come clowns are so popular?
I think it has something to do with their unpredictable nature.
Personally, I think clowns should be banned, along with mimes.
Oh, come now. Who doesn't love clowns?
Me, for one.
So all of a sudden the clown option is gone, but he gave us the name Khan. So that's probably good enough that we have his name, Khan? We could ask about Plantard. I don't know what's...
Have you heard of a man named Plantile?
I do not recall anyone of that name.
No, he doesn't know. But we have the killer's name. He said Monsieur Khan. So...
Thanks for your help, buddy.
My pleasure, monsieur. Allow me to shake you by the hand.
Huh? Well, okay.
Oh! He shook his hand, but he buzzed him with something.
What are you trying to do, kill me?
You did not find it amusing?
I never saw the funny side of electroshock therapy.
Eh bien, it is yours to keep. A gift?
Do I need a license?
No, but I give you a word of warning, monsieur.
What?
Remember to switch it off before you visit the toilet.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad if you go to the bathroom and you still had it on your hand and would activate it. So yeah, it's... look at the new item here. Let's see what George has to say about it.
It was the shake and shock buzzer I'd been given by the man in the costume shop.
Yeah, you're still in the costume shop. But yeah, the shake... Yeah. Shake and buzz. So, when you shake someone's hand, you will shock them. And he quite shocked George there. And he was really pissed off. What are you trying to do? Kill me? If he was in America, would George have the right to shoot him? I have no idea. Stand your ground thing. Anyway, we have a... that's a pretty good lead. Now we have the name. So we need to get to a phone. So let's see. George is closer to the cafe than he is to Rougerie. Shall we go to the cafe and use the phone there? Oh, no, we're probably not allowed to use the phone if the guy is back, the construction guy's back. So if I would try to use the phone, he probably would say, stop doing that, right? Nope. Couldn't care less, so let's call Todrick then.
Hello? Who is this? Mr. Todrick? Oh, it's you again. What now?
What now? I have a name now, that's what it is. Listen to this.
I found out the name of the guy I'm looking for.
Is that so?
Yeah, it's Khan. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, I delivered the suit to his hotel. The Hotel Ubu. I don't remember the room number. It was upstairs. The second room on the right-hand side of the corridor.
Thanks, Todrick. That's all I wanted to know. Now I've got you, Mr. Clown.
Now I got you. We know where he lives. He's at a hotel, Hotel Ubu. And his name is Khan! Khan! Shall we talk to the construction guy's back, so shall we ask him if he bet on the horse?
Hi.
You're the guy who gave me the tip, aren't you?
Huh?
The racehorse, Salahedin.
Oh, yeah, but
I put every franc I had on that horse.
listen,
My lifetime savings, next month's rent, everything.
Whoa.
Oh, God.
She won by 3 lengths. I'm a rich man.
Call me Lucky George, the punter's friend. So how come you're still here?
I'm not going to let my newfound wealth change me, not one bit. I bought this hole, fittings and all. Now I can come and go as I please. No more clocking on or completion schedules. No foreman breathing down my neck. Thanks to you, I've found paradise.
I'm getting a mushy feeling in my chest. But not half as mushy as your head.
What do you want now?
So, shall we shake his hand?
Would you like to shake hands with me?
No, I wouldn't. One of the real pleasures of being rich is not having to be polite.
Maybe he knows Khan if we show him the picture.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I don't.
He didn't even notice him? Damn. Never mind.
I gotta go.
Don't let me keep you.
So the guy's rich. We made him a lot of money. How lucky. So all these... This isn't really part of the main story. I mean, to go back to him and check on him. But it's fun to do. So let's go back to Rougerie and tell what we know. Wait. Actually, let's go back. Did you just see that? We actually have the option to go to Hotel Ubu. So, if we already know where he is, why not just go there? Because usually I would use the phone at Rougerie and tell her, Nico, that we went to Hotel Ubu. That we're gonna go to Hotel Ubu. So, I mean, sure, why not just go straight to Hotel Ubu then? We can call her there and tell her that we have arrived at this hotel, international hotel, I'm guessing. Well, there's always, for some reason, there are all these different national, all these flags. And the American, British, French, Japanese, German, Italian, Swiss flag. There's some plaque, there's a poster here, plaque, whatever it is, outside the hotel.
The sign listed the price of rooms, and boy, were they expensive.
The
killer must have been earning a fat wad to pay for accommodation like this.
Right, a very expensive hotel, and he's staying there. So he must be rich. Alright. There are some 2 odd-looking characters outside the hotel. I wonder who they are. Let's observe one of them at least.
The guy looked just like a weasel.
Okay, one of them looks like a weasel. What about the other one?
The man looked like an amiable Bigfoot.
The other one looks like a Bigfoot. Should we bother talking to them? Well, we can try to ask if they've seen the guy with the crescent moon thing.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Sure. We have the options of Plantard, we have the options of the clown, and then of Khan. So shall we ask if they've seen Khan?
Do you know a man by the name of Khan?
No, I don't.
It's very important I get to see him, and...
I told you, I don't know it.
Doesn't know Khan? Does he know Plantard?
Have you heard of a guy called Plantar?
No. That name means nothing to me.
Really? Shall we show the picture of Khan?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
No. I never saw him.
Really? What about, should we ask about the clown? He probably doesn't know anything about a clown. Should we shake his hand? No, he probably, well, if I try the option.
Will you shake my hand?
Are you joking? Who knows where it has been?
Well, we'd probably be in danger if we tried. Sure, why not just stop there? He
Forget
doesn't
it.
seem to know anything about... What about his friends here? Does he know anything about
Excuse
Khan?
me?
Yeah?
Yeah! Nice voice. Do you know Khan?
Do you happen to know a guy named Khan?
That ain't nobody I know.
I'm sorry to be a burden on your brain.
That's not a nice thing to say, I think. Does he know Plantar?
You ever meet a guy called Plantar?
No, I ain't.
You missed your chance. If you're quick, you'll catch him at the coroner's.
Alright, what about the picture?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
Is this a trick question?
No, I simply asked if you recognized him.
Okay then. Nope, I don't.
A trick question. Why would you say it that way? Something...
See you later.
Not if you see me first.
Something is wrong here, I think. Let's see. I think I want to do this hotel part, and then once we're done with this hotel thing here, we can maybe call it quits for today. So there's a woman playing on the piano. This is a really luxurious looking hotel. Looks very antique. There's these statues and really nice staircase. There's a phone booth in here, and there's a guy reading a newspaper, and then there's this guy over here behind the counter, and then a bunch of keys hanging up here. And then if we go upstairs, what do we have upstairs? We'll see. Here's the corridor. Let's look at, there are 3 doors here. Let's look at the door here closest to us.
The sign on the door read 21.
21. Can we open it?
The door was locked.
It's locked. Obviously not. What about the sign? What about the one in the middle?
The sign on the door read 22. If the tailor's description was correct, this was the killer's room.
Alright, so now we have kind of found the killer's room. Can we open it?
The door was locked.
Door is locked. We cannot. Let's go downstairs again. We saw a bunch of keys there hanging by the counter. Could that possibly be the keys to his room? Let's see if we can take those keys.
Hanging from a brass hook was a key and a plastic tag.
Alright. Let's go for it.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
Uh-oh.
What?
You are trying to steal that key, no?
No way.
No way. Just mocking everyone who talks to George. So we're not able to take the keys off because that guy will get angry at us.
The clerk wore a disdainful expression like he'd been born with it.
Everyone has a nasty expression or a weird face in George's mind. Let's talk to the guy though, and let's see if he knows about Khan.
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
Uh-huh. He had earplugs that he took out of his ears before he started talking to George. I'm guessing because that woman won't stop playing the piano. Although I like her music. But let's see. Let's ask about the Monsieur Khan.
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
Can we check the register for a Khan?
The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his left cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar.
Change in his expression when you mention the scar? Well, then let's just show him the picture of Khan.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
See?
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
He will not tell us her name. All right, what about the keys? Can we get the keys?
About the key hanging on the hook over there.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Number 21.
Is that room taken?
No. The guests checked out this morning.
I see. So it's not 22 where Khan would be, but it's 21. The door, it's the next door room, so that might be useful.
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
How come? You said it was vacant.
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
No, monsieur. Dutch.
No, not rats, Dutch. Alright. So we're not gonna get the keys from him, and he does not want to give us a name for Khan. He recognized the picture, but he didn't recognize the name. So let's see. Not Khan then. We can ask about Plant Art and the Clown and all the other things, but he probably wouldn't know anything about that.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
So let's just look at the register here.
It was the register of guests staying at the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at it.
There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
Merlin. Merlin. Shall we ask about Merlin then?
What now, monsieur?
So, let's show him the picture again.
Is this Merlin room 22?
I couldn't say. It's a bad likeness.
This photo was taken by one of Europe's most promising photojournalists.
Vraiment? What does he use? A pinhole camera?
Alright, so...
Thanks for your help, buddy.
He's still not being helpful about getting us to... about telling us more about Merlin. So, Khan is registered under the name Merlin at this hotel. And I've had enough of the piano music for now, so let's talk to the lady, get her to stop playing it. Let's observe.
The woman was obviously English. She had all the qualities of Boadicea, Elizabeth I, and Margaret Thatcher rolled into one. It wasn't a pretty sight.
Right. So an obviously looking English. Isn't that kind of racist to decide that? Let's find out if she's English or not. Let's ask her.
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear.
Not
For
that.
one foolish moment I thought... But never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George Stobbart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
Yeah, you're just babbling like I did during my last episode. Never mind. Let's just go straight for it. Do you know Khan, or this? His name is also Merlin. Let's see what happens.
I'm looking for a murderer.
You?
Good heavens! You're a private detective.
That's correct, ma'am.
What's the term you Americans use? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I believe what you're thinking of is Dick.
Precisely.
She did that on purpose. Oh my goodness. All about double entendres and double meanings. Never mind. Let's ask about the murder again. Khan.
Have you come across a man who calls himself Khan?
I am familiar with only one person named Khan.
Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol barbarian chieftain?
No, darling, Kevin.
Kevin Khan? I never heard of him.
I'd be most surprised if you had, darling. He's a pharmacist in Hemel Hempstead. Organises fundraising for the Rotarians. Lovely man.
Does he have a scar on his cheek?
I really wouldn't know, sweetie.
Okay, so we're still asking about Khan, but he's obviously registered as Merlin. We found that out, so why not just... Okay, let's just go with the picture then. The picture of Merlin.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him! That's Merlin!
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged. Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest.
Alright, so all of a sudden, because we showed the picture, we get the option again to ask about Khan, or Monsieur Merlin.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobbart. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman, a man of honor. Do you know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
Rather assist us? Well, thank you so much. Well, let's ask more about Khan, or Merlin, or whatever, the clown, murderer.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
So, Merlin had something that he had the clerk put in his safe at the hotel. That might be something very useful to us. Let's ask more about Merlin.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantow's briefcase.
You're in the right area there, George. Let's ask more about Merlin.
Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
If I could get in there, I would.
If we could get in there, well, should we ask about the keys?
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh no, it's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape.
Yeah.
Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case. But a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
Oh, and there she goes. She is heading towards the clerk, and we're following her. So she's gonna give us some time. She's gonna distract.
I say! Okay. You there? Flunky!
Talking to the clerk
Oui,
now.
madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
Jesus.
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewellery for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
All right. Let's not waste this opportunity. Get those keys, George. So we grab the keys. Which means now we can go upstairs. And she went straight back to the piano. So we can avoid that. So the keys. What kind of keys do we have?
It was a key ring bearing one large brass key and a tag which read Hotel Ubu.
Yes, we know it's not. He said it was 21, so it is not the door in the middle, but the one next to us.
Maybe it wasn't the right room, but this was the right key.
It is the right key indeed. So, here we are inside this very nice looking hotel room. Is there something inside here? In this closet?
There was nothing in the wardrobe apart from a vague, lingering smell of camphor.
Camphor smell. Very nice. There seems to be no other options. There's something.
A cabinet stood beside the bed.
Can we check the cabinet beside the bed? Maybe there's something there.
The cabinet was empty, but it smelt of onions. No kidding, it really did.
Smell of onions? Yeah. Doesn't sound nice. By the way, I'm still shocked by the licked up thing, whatever she said about joining the Boy Scouts. It just seems terrible. There's the window.
The window looked out over a narrow alley surrounded by high walls.
So there's another tall building across from the hotel, I'm guessing. And it's a narrow street, so shall we go outside? Ooh. It seems like George is ready to go outside the window of the hotel room. And this is very dangerous. There's a really small step from the window that he is able to stand on, but if he would go one foot forward, he would fall down. And it's a long fall. Let's see.
The cobbles of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard.
Yeah, that alleyway is pretty far away. Shall we jump?
If I wanted my shins sticking out of my shoulders, I could have jumped. Mama Stobbart didn't raise no suicidal fools, though.
That'll go. Never mind. I was gonna say that a boy, but it's his mama. That's a nice mama. Ugh. But we're able to slide into the next window safely. Yes. Let's go inside the window to the next room. And this is it. The killer's room. And what do we have here on the floor?
It was the battered leather briefcase I'd seen Plantar carrying just before he died.
That's the one. Pick it up. Let's see what's inside the briefcase.
I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty.
How can you half expect something? How can you turn a phrase? Family quote. Family guy. What about the closet?
The closet was a solid, impressive piece of antique furniture.
What's in there? There's a pigeon somewhere in this game. Not inside, obviously from outside, but there's some clothing in here.
The pants were newly laundered and pressed with immaculate creases.
Okay.
There was nothing in the pockets of the pants.
Nothing in the pockets of the pants. So, nothing in the pocket of the pants.
The bed was several times larger than the narrow cot I'd been given at the place I was staying.
Really? I wonder where George is staying.
The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits.
It seems like we're not finding anything.
The cabinet had no drawers, just a single door.
A single door, cabinet. Let's open it.
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
We're not finding anything. There's nothing in here. Nothing in his pants, nothing in the briefcase, nothing in the bed. I'm sorry to say, we're just not going to find anything in here. Oh well. Shall we just leave the room then? Let's, instead of going out to the window, that suicidal thing, let's just leave the room. Nothing in here, right? Oh my God! It's Khan! He's back!
I had the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the bathroom.
Let it go, George. He went straight for the closet. Go inside there. Hide. He's hiding in the closet, and here comes Khan. He has arrived, and he's gonna open the closet door. Gah! What's gonna happen? George is closing his eyes, but it seems like he didn't notice him. It's a big closet, thank God. He just took out those freshly ironed pants, put them on. What the hell is George looking at, by the way? And he changed pants, and there he goes. He's off. That was close. All right. Let's take a look. Well, he left his pants here. That's a new item.
The pants matched the jacket which the killer had lost in Paris.
Ha ha ha. That's the one. With quite the evidence. Maybe we should go to the police.
I couldn't believe my luck when I found 2 items in the pockets of the pants.
Okay.
The first was an ordinary matchbook.
Hmm.
No matches, no clues.
All right.
The second was a pass card which read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Thomas Merlin. I see. So we have these 2.
It was the card I'd found in the hotel bedroom. It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Electrician, right? An electrician ID, and then there's the matchbook. Well, I don't have to check that again. A matchbook is a matchbook. Well, let's see what he says.
The matchbook bore a pattern of swirling color and the words, Club Alamut.
Club Alamut. Sounds like he went to a club somewhere. Wonder where. Is it safe to go outside now? Let's find out. It is. Phew. So now, what we have is his ID and a matchbook, but his ID, does that mean we can try to do what we did with Rosso's ID, try to impersonate someone else? Could we pretend to be Merlin? Could we use it to get to the safe? Let's find out. Oh, the guy is not back. Anyways, the guy's not back for some reason. Can't stand the music. Shall we go outside for a moment? Maybe if we go outside and come back in, he'll be back to his. He'll be back behind the counter, and then we can tell him that we are Thomas Müller. So let's just go outside a little bit. Hang on, what's going on here?
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check, nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Flap is searching his pockets, his jacket.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
It's quite the thorough search.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
That's very hostile. So these guys just immediately searched me as I left the hotel. So, should I ask the weasel-looking guy what the hell he was doing?
Shorty. I didn't think much of your trick, little man. I don't know what you're looking for, but you picked on the wrong guy. Maybe you'll spread the word around the sewers. George Stobbart is on the case. That's Stobbart. 2 B's and 2 T's. It sounded impressive to me, but the weasel didn't seem to share my enthusiasm. Still, I figured he'd think twice before gunning me down in the street in cold blood.
I do not like your tone.
Oh, yeah? And what are you gonna do about it?
If you do not go away, I will gun you down in cold blood, right here in the street, without thinking twice about it.
Wow. He basically just quoted George's thinking there. So, he means business. So why we'll just leave him alone?
Forget it.
They were obviously searching for something. So all of a sudden, going outside isn't safe anymore. But they didn't find what they were looking for. Let's go back inside the hotel. Yeesh. And there she is, back on the piano, Lady Piermont. It's Lady Piermont, right? Let's go back to the counter. Is he back? There he is. All right, let's talk to
What
the
now,
hotel clerk.
monsieur?
Let's tell the clerk that we want to access the safe. Here, we get the safe option. We actually get the option to talk about Plantard and the option of talking about the two guys outside. Let's tell him what happened.
I've just been manhandled by a gorilla.
Yes? I do not see any signs of a gorilla.
No, not a real gorilla. It was a guy who looked like a gorilla. It happened right out front of this building.
Let me get this quite clear. Are you complaining or bragging?
I want to know what you're going to do about it. The scrawny one has a gun.
I suggest you contact the police.
Can't you do anything about them?
What goes on in the streets of Paris is hardly my responsibility.
It's right outside your hotel. Let's ask about him again.
Aren't you concerned that your guests are being intimidated by gangsters?
No one else has complained, monsieur. Did they steal anything from you?
Well, no. They didn't find what they were looking for.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't think they did either.
So that's kind of peculiar. He doesn't know what they're looking for, and but it's something, and it might be dangerous to go back out there with something else that they might be looking for. Anyways, shall we ask about the safe?
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats.
Identification. We have an identification, right? That card that we found in the pants. Thomas Muller. Sorry, I burped into the mic.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer.
Uh-huh.
I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that.
Again, he will not budge. We gave him an ID. He
Thanks
asked
for your
an
help,
ID.
buddy.
We gave him an ID, and he will not allow us to get access to the safe. I'm getting annoyed with that music again. Let's talk to Lady Piermont.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Well, we were trying to get to the guy, the murder. Well, we can tell her about the thugs outside.
Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and bulges in their pockets.
That
doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
It's all about sex, isn't it?
That gangster I told you about? He went through my pockets just now.
Good heavens! One never knows what to expect in foreign parts. Thank you for the warning, young man. I shall hide my credit cards in my underwear.
Not things that make you go. Things that make you go. Bleh. That's a Ron White quote. All right, I'm well over the hour, I think now, but still, let's try to finish this up quickly. Just tell her. Well, shall we tell her about the keys?
I got the key. Thanks for your help, ma'am.
Oh, okay, that's about it. Shall we ask a little bit about her?
Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
I'm not. It was my husband. I don't think, well, we could ask her about a lot of things, but let's go straight to the meat of it. The ID card.
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Yes.
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers. But he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George!
Whoa. It's a large voice.
Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
That's the way you get things done. Well done.
You know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
She helped us twice. She was really helpful in this game.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Manuscript.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
A parchment, manuscript. Shall we look at it?
It was the ancient manuscript which Khan had stolen from Plantow.
So that must have been in the briefcase that he stole from Plantard, that he was probably going to show Nico. That's why he brought it with him, right? Right, I'm going to end it here. Why? Because we got this thing that might actually... Well, we'll find out a lot more about what just happened. What we have just discovered. But I'll just save here. Because also, next time... I'll save over my JLR podcast network. Next time we'll play... We will find out why it is dangerous to go outside with that manuscript. You just saw the thugs searching George. Who knows what they were searching for. So it's very important to save here. Let me just save again, just in case. Anyways, so I think I'll end it here. And we will continue next time, the third episode, where we will try to get out of the hotel and get back to Nico with the manuscript that we just found. And maybe we can talk to that bloke that has been reading the newspaper. Maybe he knows more about what's going on. Who knows? Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, the second episode of Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars walkthrough and review. Almost forgot the name of the episode. Yeah. And I hope you have enjoyed watching it here on YouTube, or I hope you have enjoyed listening to this podcast, this live broadcast. Live, well, it's recorded broadcast. Anyways, let's end it here then. So until next time, you guys take care. See ya. Bye bye.